everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel and back to Train Sim World 4, and we're back with another first look. And that first look, it's kind of in two parts, isn't it? Because we've got the Class 380, which is the new local DLC for the Cathcart Circle line, but we've also got the brand new upgraded Cathcart Circle line, which released for everybody that owned the Cathcart Circle on Tuesday as a free update. The 380 is a paid-for DLC, which is coming tomorrow across all platforms. The Cathcart Circle line, if you already owned it, that was a free upgrade. We're going to have a look at that as well. So it's a first, really, to look at the 380 and also to have a look at the newly upgraded Cathcart Circle. So we did take one last look at the old Cathcart Circle last weekend. I know a lot of you have watched that. Thank you very much for the feedback on that video. If you didn't see it, there is a link coming up now in the top right hand corner if you want to look at the old Cathcart versus the new one as we go. But let's have a look at it. I'm on the PS5 today for this, and if we just dive in, you can see there are 3 scenarios that I haven't yet completed. These are all the original scenarios that are done. So including the 380, now we've got press release, which is 1 hour and 30, semi-circle service 40 minutes, and Dr. Snow at 35 minutes. So 3 additional scenarios that come with the 380. If we go into the services themselves in the timetable, you will see that we've got a Cathcart Circle 2019 timetable and a Cathcart Circle 2024. Now, if you've got just the Cathcart Circle route, you will only have one timetable. This second timetable for 2024 comes with the 380. So if you buy the 380, you will get this timetable. So if we look at the first one, you can see over on the right hand side, we've got a 66, 47, a 37, a 314, a 31, and a 20. That's because on the PS5 I've got every single bit of DLC. So all those are layers. They don't come with the route, they're layered in. The 314 does come with the route, and I think the 66 comes with the route, but I can't remember. You can double check that on your store page if you don't already own Cathcart Circle. If you've got Cathcart Circle and you get the 380 and you've got all the layers, this is what happens over on the right hand side. 66, 47, 37, 314, 31, 20, 40, 52, 52, a class 52, a 45, the 33, the 385, the 170 from the 5 circle, and of course the 380, which is what you will have just bought. Let's just select it. You can see these as a little sort of palette. You can see all the different trains that we've got on here, which obviously gives some good variety. I'm actually interested in the 52. I think it'll do a rail tour, air to Bowness, a 33-minute rail tour. So that's interesting. I quite like running the 52. But we're here to look at the 380, so let's do that, shall we? We'll just go in, and we've got the 3 car, and I think, is that a 6 car? I think the bottom one is a 6 car, correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to go to the top one, and I think what we'll do is we will run a service sort of middle of the day-ish to Newton. I think we'll go to Newton. Why don't we do that? Let's just have a look what times of day these are. We got the 2P12 Glasgow Central to Newton. I think we'll go for that one. The weather that's been selected is January. Let's make that more recent. Let's go for June, shall we? We'll leave the dynamic weather on for once. No, we won't. I'll turn it off. Shall we leave it on? We'll leave it on. Let's leave it on. Let's leave it on. We'll start off with it clear. So we are going off in the last video. You remember, I couldn't remember what the station was called at first. Over on the right hand side of the map as we look at it, that is actually Newton. So we're going to go from Glasgow Central to Newton, which will give us a good chance to have a look at Glasgow Central and the updated traffic and the actual route. But also, of course, get to drive the 380. So it's all good. So let's get into that. We'll just let this load up. Hope everybody's looking forward to this DLC. Just whilst we're waiting, a big thanks to Dovetail for giving me early access as part of the Dovetail Ambassador program. So all our first looks recently, we've got to do 24 hours before the public release, which I really appreciate and gives you guys a chance to have a look as well a day before you commit to buying it, which is always good for you. So this is 2P12. Drive this train from Glasgow Central to Newton. So, oh, there's a little issue. Creators Club. Just ignore that. That is a 314 in Merseyrail livery from the Creators Club. Yeah, just ignore it. Right. That was a time. You know, I've not seen that for ages. That's just typical. Right, master key on. Let's get that into forwards. And then what we'll do is we will unlock the doors. Lots of people getting off. So, in the cab itself, we've got GSMR, which is kind of already set up with the service number in there. So it's not a fully functioning GSMR. There is a test button, so we can do that. We'll get the lights on. So there are the exterior lights on day. What else have we got here? Signal bell. Door releases over this side. As far as the lighting goes, if you come down and use this display at the bottom, number 8 is for lighting, so you can see. This is the exterior lighting, so you can see on the front we've got the day headlights on the back, and on the rear you can see the tail lights are both ticked, so you can tick those on and off as you see fit. Interior lighting, so saloon lighting you can turn on and off in this panel, as with the instrument lighting, but it seems to default to having the instrument lighting and the saloon lighting on, so you don't really have to go in there unless you want to change it. So let's just go to top, which brings us back to there. Safety systems on this side, so let's put these on. We don't need the fire alarm, that's in normal. DSD, AWS, and that's okay, so that's all good. Let's just cancel that out. Actually, you know what, before we set off, we will be fashionably late on purpose, but let's just have a quick walk through, because I sometimes forget to do this. That Merseyrail, that's bugging me. Whoever designed that livery is very, very nice, and yeah, but it's not for this route. But you can see the level, the quality level of this 380 is really nice. And we're getting a really nice ScotRail fleet together, aren't we? Soon we'll have the 158, hopefully, in ScotRail livery, which is part of the 5 Circle. And I'm really looking forward to that, because the 158 is quite a nice, unit, isn't it? So we've been using. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. We've obviously got the 158 on the Midland Main Line, so it'd be nice to see it in ScotRail livery. Anyway, let's get the doors closed. There we go. And we can now go to Pollock Shields East. So it's got a combined brake and throttle handle, this one. What I should have done actually, as we were moving out of, let me just drop that to off and we'll just roll on. I wanted just to show you the level of traffic in Glasgow. For this particular service, you can see we've got a good mix of 314, 380s, they're all in there. Now at some points of the day you will also find an Azuma pulling up on this side if you've got the East Coast Main Line, which I'm going to assume most, if not everybody, has got as part of the base TSW4, so that's quite nice to see. It wasn't there just then for us, but let's get going to Pollock Shields East. As we see, the 385 coming in there. We'll have some horn, shall we? I don't think we'll need the wipers today, but there is the wiper control as well. Obviously the horn is there on the desk. The AWS acknowledge if you use it that way. Let's open the window. I nearly tried to open the door by mistake, but it didn't let me, so that's good. So we're looking at the route as well as the 380, of course. And by the time you're watching this video, if you've already owned the Cathcart Circle, the previous version of Cathcart Circle, you'll have already been playing, no doubt, the new Cathcart Circle before you see this video. So you've probably already had a good look at it. People make Glasgow. It's quite nice, isn't it? Let's just make sure we observe the speed limits. We are going to Pollock Shields East, Queen's Park, Cross Hill, Mount Florida, Kings Park, Croftfoot, Burnside, Kirkhill, and finally Newton. So it's about a half hour, I think, just under, for this particular service. So once again, I chose not to go around the circle itself, but do a bit more of a straighter run. We do obviously go on to the circle as part of this. If we look at the map, there's the start of the circle with Pollock Shields east and west there, and then we're coming down this side and we're off up to this end. So as part of this as well, the 314, which was the standard unit for Cathcart Circle, that's had some work done as well. We won't look at that today, but we will do over some future videos and streams. And we ran the 314 in the last video that we did for Cathcart. There's a lot more ambient sound as well in the route. I just wonder if the ambient sound has been upgraded. I should really have pulled up the patch notes for the new route, but I haven't got them to hand. But I think, as I said, many of you have played this already by the time you're watching this, so you're probably up to speed with the changes. The main one, of course, is the lighting. And make sure you do try a service at night as well. Just change the season so it gets a little bit darker, and just try one at night. It looks good at night. The night lighting is really quite good. We're branching off here to the left for Pollock Shields East, platform 2. Now, I have had a chance to have a little bit of a play with the 380. I would say that you guys are gonna like it. I think it's been very well made. The sounds are good, as you can tell. It looks good. And it actually drives really well. It's pretty straightforward to drive, like most of these units. But look at this, it's brilliant. I think you're going to have some fun with this. It's much brighter, isn't it? The route's much brighter with the lighting. I was saying at the weekend when we did the previous Cathcart Circle that I thought that at times the old Cathcart Circle. Let's do the horn. The old Cathcart Circle sometimes suffered from a bit of what I would call over contrast, and you don't have any options in the settings to reduce the contrast, so it is what it is. And so sometimes it looked a little bit washed out, a little bit high contrast, and I think these lighting upgrades help address that. It looks so much better, this, I've got to say, and hopefully you agree. Queen's Park is next. What I'll do when we get onto the faster stretch is I will close the window so you can listen to the cab from the inside as well whilst we're driving. But new local DLCs and new route upgrades breathe new life into a route that's been out for so long, which is actually a really nice route. But it's one of the ones for me that I've played and it's fallen by the wayside as the newer DLCs have come out, and I've only very occasionally gone back. I was saying that in the first video. So with this, it gives me a chance to revisit everything, and with a little bit more of a packed timetable as well, and a lot more traffic going on. And so I've really got my fingers crossed we do some other remastered routes as well. Some of the older ones. I'm hoping that they do that. Time will tell. Let's get to Cross Hill, which is next. So this first part of the route, obviously whilst we're on the circle, is very stop-start. But I think after Mount Florida, then we're able to give the 380 a little bit of a test. Don't forget to drop me a comment. Tell me what you think of the new upgraded Cathcart. And that's before the 380. Obviously let me know what you think about the 380. But importantly, let me know about the Cathcart. And do you think the remasters are a good idea? Does it feel like you're getting a little bit more? Some players will say, well, perhaps it should have been like this from the start. But don't forget that as the Unreal Engine develops and the versions improve, there's obviously a lot more that you can do with old routes, and so therefore, you know, what's been done today maybe wasn't possible back then. There's that to think about. But you know, it's for you to make your own mind up. I think remastering the routes though is definitely a good idea. Let's get the doors locked. We're a little bit behind time because of our exploring at the beginning. Might as well use the signal bell. I tend not to do that. I do in Train Sim Classic because the guard will signal in most cases to you, so then you can signal back, but I forget to do it a lot in TSW. Mount Florida is next. So Mount Florida, maybe Kings Park is our last one on the circle before we depart. To the left, let's see. That is the 380. So yeah, so with the 380, you're getting the 380 itself, You're also getting a brand new timetable. And you've already got the upgraded route. And of course there's the 3 scenarios, so it's not a bad little package, I would say. Especially for any of you out there who are fans of the UK stuff. So this is Mount Florida. Let's just fly by before we shut the doors. See, those sounds are brilliant.
If you see anything suspicious, please tell a member of staff or the police.
Right, those guys have missed it because we're off. We've already hung about. A lot of nice... I always comment on the weathering, but you see at the bottom here at the front, this is really nice, this weathering. This is getting better and better. You know, that's very believable, isn't it, at the bottom? We used to, at one point, only get... If you remember, we used to get really, really shiny trains and units. But these now... You see, that one hasn't been through the washer. Not today. So it's really nice to see that. It's more believable, isn't it? Right, Kings Park. Yeah, the sound has definitely improved, just generally. You can see now we're just leaving the circle. So on Sunday's video, we came down here from Neilston. We came all the way up to Glasgow, so we're kind of going to this side of the map this time. Or this side of the route. We've got a 25 coming up. So I'll close the window now. We're ready for when we leave, and you can have a good listen to what's going on inside the cab. In my headphones I can hear a rattle in the cab going off on the right hand side somewhere. It's just those little things that make it quite special. The attention to detail. So all the things like collectibles, etc., they've all carried across, all the progress is carried across from the old route. It's literally just the same route, just upgraded. So, you know, you don't need to retrace any of your progress or anything like that. It's all there as it was. It just looks and sounds a lot different. Croft Foot is next in 0.7. And we have a chance to come up to speed. Well, at least up to 50 miles per hour. So let's do that. Good acceleration. I'll just ease off the throttle. We are stopping in 700 yards. The braking as well, to be fair, is quite straightforward. You know me for flying through stations when I'm talking, especially. The braking on this seems to be quite good on the 380. As you can see, it comes down very nicely with just the minimum of brake applied. And this is Croftfoot. Two minutes late, according to the platform board there. We'll listen from the outside, shall we? So we've got Burnside in 0.8 of a mile. So just a nice little run for the first look. Hopefully you've quite enjoyed it. We're not done just yet, but hopefully it just whets your appetite for the DLC tomorrow when it arrives. I'm not aware of any other change to the schedule. The usual schedule is that consoles will get it around 10 AM UK time, with PC following a little bit later in the day. I'm not aware if that schedule has changed. If you look on the forums, the release details will be on the DTG forums. But I hope you guys enjoy it if you're picking it up. It is a very nice unit. I did watch the, it's like all the streams, I did watch the DTG stream last week. And you don't quite, when you're just watching a stream, and I know you're watching this one now, you don't quite appreciate how good something is until you actually get your hands on it. And I watched the stream and I thought, oh, it's quite nice that. As soon as I got my hands on it and played it, I found it. I like it better than the 314 on this route. In different ways. This one. I mean, I like the way that we've got this interactive screen and all the different mod cons on this one. Whereas the 314 is a little bit of a different experience. But it's easy to drive, as I've said. It brakes quite well, which is good for me. And the sound, you can hear the aircon just buzzing in the background. The sounds and just everything about it, until you've got the headset on and you listen to it as you're driving it, you don't quite get the full appreciation. So I do think it's going to be popular with all you guys that are watching this. But do let me know what you think, as always. I always enjoy going through all the feedback, and I try to respond to everybody if I can. So if you've got a question and I can help you, let me know. Just drop me a comment. Kirkhill in just over a mile. The other thing that I don't know at this point is if this 380 layers in anywhere else on the other Scottish routes that we've got. I would need to check on that. that isn't to say that you can't obviously do that yourself in the scenario planner or from Creators Club. You'll soon be able to get scenarios from Creators Club that people have created. I would love to give this a blast on Glasgow, Edinburgh, but it might not be strictly canon to put it on there. I don't know. I'm not familiar with what runs exactly between Glasgow and Edinburgh, but I certainly wouldn't mind just giving it a test on there, just to bring it up to speed, get a little bit faster on that route. I mean, I've got a Merseyrail train sat at Glasgow Central there, so you know I'm not always following canon. You can switch that off actually. If you've got some Creators Club liveries, you can switch those on and off. And I've got that many things downloaded from Creators Club. I just forgot. So it's a 314 masquerading as something else from Merseyrail. I can't remember which. It is a you guys will put it in the comments, I know, but it is a unit that we don't have, I think, in TSW, and so it masquerades as that. It's the nearest thing to it. I've had that quite some time and driven it once or twice at the beginning. I may have even put a video out about that, but it was a long time ago. I just forgot it was there, really.
Please remain behind the yellow line.
So yeah, there are no Merseyrail trains included with this DLC. You'll be pleased to know, or not pleased to know. Maybe you wanted a Merseyrail train. Nice livery though. Right, Newton is next, and that is our final station stop. In just over a mile, 1.3 miles. And we'll be a couple of minutes late. We're already due there right now. But the main thing on a first look is just having fun. Just make sure we don't overspeed on this downward gradient. Just approaching the 40. One thing I will say is about coming out to Newton. Did we, apart from when we were coming out of Glasgow, did we pass any other traffic? Now that could be down to the timetable, and of course that could be intended. Maybe they only run, every hour or so down to Newton. I'm not sure what the timetabling is, but I don't recall seeing any traffic going the other way. We could probably confirm that by looking at the looking into the timetable, going back to the timetable and seeing what's running each way, just to see if they cross. But for now, this is Newton, and we've got a red at the end of the platform, so we don't want to risk a spad right now. We'll let everybody off. So I hope you've enjoyed this short first look, just to get a look at what's happening with the route, which was a free upgrade if you already had Cathcart, and then the 380 and the new timetable that you get with the 380. We did get caught speeding there a little bit. We lost a couple of points, but who cares about the points? It was a good run. Thank you very much as always for joining me. Please do leave me a like if you enjoyed it, and also don't forget to subscribe. Lots more TSW and other stuff coming up quite soon. Take care, everybody, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.